The sun blazed down on Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso. It was March 2025, and the heat shimmered off the dusty streets. Even the usually bustling markets seemed quieter than usual, the vendors seeking shade under colorful umbrellas. Ibrahim Traoré, the interim president, rarely had time for strolls. His days were filled with meetings and important decisions about running the country. But this afternoon, he felt a pull to walk among the people, to see the city with his own eyes, not just through the windows of a car. He wore a simple shirt and trousers, hoping to blend in. He wanted to feel the pulse of the city, to hear the everyday worries and hopes of its citizens. As he walked, he remembered his own childhood, the streets he used to play on, the friends he grew up with. The air was thick with the scent of spices and grilling meat. Children laughed as they chased a football down a narrow alley. Music drifted from open doorways. For a moment, Traoré forgot about the weight of his responsibilities and simply enjoyed being part of the city's vibrant tapestry. He turned a corner onto a quieter street, the houses smaller and more worn. He noticed an older woman sitting on a stool in front of a dilapidated building. Something about her face seemed familiar, a flicker of recognition in his memory. As he drew closer, his heart skipped a beat. It was Ms. Dio. His heart leaped. Ms. Dio, his teacher from primary school. She had been so kind, so patient. He remembered her warm smile and the way she made learning fun, even when the lessons were difficult. She had always encouraged him, telling him he could achieve anything he set his mind to. He hadn't seen her in years, but this wasn't the Ms. Dio he remembered. The years had been hard on her. Her face was etched with lines, and her clothes were faded and worn. The building behind her looked like it was about to fall apart. He walked closer, his steps hesitant. "Ms. Dio?" he asked, his voice a little shaky. The woman looked up, squinting in the sunlight. For a moment, her eyes were clouded with confusion. Then, recognition dawned. "Ibrahim," she said, her voice raspy. "Ibrahim Traoré? Is that really you?" A wide smile spread across her face, a smile that reminded him of the Ms. Dio he remembered. He knelt down beside her, taking her hand in his. Her hand was calloused and thin. "Yes, Ms. Dio, it's me," he said, his voice full of emotion. "It's so good to see you." He looked around at her surroundings, his heart sinking. How could someone who had given so much to others be living like this? "Ms. Dio," Traoré continued, his voice filled with a mix of concern and determination. "This isn't right. You shouldn't be living like this after all you've done for so many students, for our country." Ms. Dio smiled sadly. "Life is like that, Ibrahim. Sometimes it takes unexpected turns." She sighed. "My pension isn't much, and things are expensive these days. But I manage." Traoré's heart ached. He knew that many retired teachers in Burkina Faso faced similar hardships. They had dedicated their lives to educating the next generation, but they were often forgotten and left to struggle in their old age. He looked at Ms. Dio, her eyes filled with a quiet dignity, and a resolve hardened within him. "Ms. Dio," he said, his voice firm, "I promise you, things are going to change. I will make sure you're taken care of, and I will do everything in my power to help other teachers like you, teachers who have given so much and received so little in return." He stood up, pulling Ms. Dio gently to her feet. "Come," he said, "let's get you inside. It's too hot out here." He helped her into her small, humble home. The walls were cracked, and the roof leaked in places. But despite the poverty, the room was clean and tidy, a testament to Ms. Dio's enduring spirit. He knew, in that moment, that he had to act. He had to keep his promise. The next morning, Traoré didn't waste any time. He immediately contacted his staff and told them to arrange for Ms. Dio to receive the best medical care available. He also ordered that her house be renovated, making it safe and comfortable. Within days, doctors were examining Ms. Dio, providing her with much-needed treatment and medication. Workers arrived at her house, repairing the roof, reinforcing the walls, and painting the exterior in bright, cheerful colors. Ms. Dio was overwhelmed by Traoré's kindness. She couldn't believe that the little boy she had taught so many years ago, now the president of the country, was taking such good care of her. She felt a surge of pride and gratitude. News of Traoré's actions spread quickly throughout Ouagadougou and across Burkina Faso. People were touched by his compassion and his commitment to honoring his former teacher. The story became a symbol of hope and a reminder that even in the highest positions of power, it was important to remember one's roots and to show gratitude to those who had helped along the way. Many people began to share stories of their favorite teachers and the impact they had had on their lives. A feeling of national pride began to swell. The sight of Ms. Dio's freshly painted house, a beacon of color in the otherwise drab street, became a daily reminder of Traoré's kindness. People would stop by to admire it, to offer Ms. Dio their well wishes, and to share their own stories of teachers who had made a difference in their lives. But Traoré knew that helping Ms. Dio was just the beginning. He couldn't ignore the plight of other retired teachers who were struggling to make ends meet. He called a meeting with his cabinet and proposed a national program to support retired educators. These are the people who shaped us, who gave us the knowledge and skills we need to build a better future, he said passionately. We cannot allow them to live in poverty after they have given so much to our country. Some members of the cabinet were hesitant. The program would be expensive, and the country faced many other pressing challenges. But Traoré was determined. He argued that investing in teachers was investing in the future. He reminded them of Ms. Dio and the countless other educators who deserved to be honored and supported. He explained that happy, secure teachers would inspire students even more. Eventually, he convinced them. The program was approved. With the program in place, things began to change rapidly for retired teachers across Burkina Faso. Pensions were increased, ensuring that they could afford basic necessities. Healthcare was made accessible, allowing them to receive the medical attention they needed. Many teachers who had been living in poverty were able to move into better homes or renovate their existing ones. The impact was immediate and profound. Retired teachers who had felt forgotten and undervalued now felt respected and appreciated. They were able to live out their golden years with dignity and security. They started gathering together, sharing stories, and supporting each other. A sense of community blossomed among them. The positive effects extended beyond the retired teachers themselves. Seeing the government's commitment to education, young people were inspired to pursue careers in teaching. Parents felt reassured that their children's educators would be well taken care of. The entire nation seemed to recognize the vital role that teachers played in building a brighter future. The air buzzed with optimism and a renewed appreciation for education. It felt like a new chapter was beginning for Burkina Faso. The success of the national program inspired a grassroots movement to further honor teachers. Students, parents, and community leaders organized events to celebrate educators, both past and present. They held parades, concerts, and award ceremonies to recognize the contributions of teachers to society. One of the most significant outcomes of this movement was the establishment of a new school, named after Ms. Dio, the Monsieur Dio School. It was a state-of-the-art facility, equipped with the latest technology and staffed by highly qualified teachers. The school quickly became a model for education in Burkina Faso, attracting students from all over the country. Ms. Dio, now a beloved national figure, was invited to the opening ceremony. She beamed with pride as she watched the students file into the classrooms, eager to learn. She knew that her legacy would live on through this school, inspiring generations of young people to reach their full potential. During the ceremony, President Traoré gave a moving speech, emphasizing the importance of education and the vital role that teachers play in shaping the future. He reiterated his commitment to supporting educators and ensuring that they receive the recognition and respect they deserve. The crowd erupted in applause, their hearts filled with hope and gratitude. The story of Ibrahim Traoré and Ms. Dio resonated far beyond the borders of Burkina Faso. Neighboring countries, inspired by Burkina Faso's commitment to education, began to implement similar programs to support their own retired teachers. International organizations praised Traoré's leadership and hailed Burkina Faso as a model for valuing education in Africa. Delegations from other African nations visited Burkina Faso to learn about the national program and the Monsieur Dio School. They were impressed by the positive impact these initiatives had on the lives of teachers and students alike. They returned to their own countries, determined to replicate Burkina Faso's success. Traoré became a sought-after speaker at international conferences, sharing his vision for education and advocating for greater investment in teachers. He emphasized the importance of gratitude and the need to honor those who had dedicated their lives to shaping the minds of future generations. The journey that began with a chance encounter on a hot afternoon in Ouagadougou had transformed Burkina Faso and inspired a movement across Africa. It was a testament to the power of gratitude, leadership, and the enduring importance of education. The ripple effects of Traoré's simple act of kindness continued to spread, promising a brighter future for teachers and students throughout the continent. Back in Burkina Faso, Ms. Dio continued to visit the school named in her honor. She loved spending time with the students, sharing stories of her long career and encouraging them to pursue their dreams. She became a living legend, a symbol of the transformative power of education. One day, a young student asked her, "Ms. Dio, what is the most important thing you learned in your life?" Ms. Dio smiled, her eyes twinkling. "The most important thing," she said, "is to never stop learning, and to always remember the people who helped you along the way." She looked out at the faces of the students, her heart filled with hope for the future. She knew that they would carry on her legacy, building a better world through education and compassion. And as for President Traoré, he continued to lead Burkina Faso with wisdom and humility, always remembering the lessons he had learned from Ms. Dio. He understood that true leadership was not about power or prestige, but about serving others and making a positive difference in the world. His encounter with his former teacher had changed his life, and in doing so, it had changed the course of a nation. The hot afternoon walk had become a pivotal moment in Burkina Faso's history. Years later, the Monsieur Dio School continued to thrive, producing graduates who went on to make significant contributions to Burkina Faso and the world. Many of them became teachers themselves, inspired by Ms. Dio's example and the legacy of President Traoré's leadership. The national program for retired teachers remained in place, providing a safety net for educators who had dedicated their lives to serving others. It became a source of national pride, a symbol of Burkina Faso's commitment to valuing its teachers. And every year, on a hot afternoon in March, President Traoré would return to the street where he had first encountered Ms. Dio. He would visit her at her home, now a comfortable and well-maintained residence. They would sit together, sharing stories and reminiscing about the past. He would always thank her for the impact she had had on his life and for the inspiration she had provided to the nation. And she would always smile and say, "Ibrahim, you have done so much for me and for our country. I am so proud of the man you have become." Their friendship, forged in a moment of unexpected reunion, had transformed a nation and inspired a continent. It was a story that would be told for generations to come, a story about the power of a teacher, the gratitude of a student, and the potential for leadership to change the world. And so, Burkina Faso became known throughout Africa, and indeed the world, as a place where teachers were truly valued. Other nations studied their programs, sent delegations to visit the Monsieur Dio School, and sought President Traoré's advice on how to best support their own educators. The ripple effect of that one act of kindness continued to spread, touching countless lives. The story served as a powerful reminder that even small acts of compassion can have a profound impact. It demonstrated that leadership is not just about making grand pronouncements or wielding power, but about recognizing the value of every individual and working to create a more just and equitable society. President Traoré often reflected on that hot afternoon walk. He realized that if he hadn't taken the time to connect with the people, if he hadn't been open to seeing the world through their eyes, he would have missed the opportunity to make a real difference. He understood that true progress comes not from above, but from the ground up, from recognizing the potential in every person and empowering them to reach their full potential. The story of Ibrahim Traoré and Ms. Dio became a timeless tale, a testament to the power of education, gratitude, and leadership to transform the world one act of kindness at a time.